All right, what's good, YouTube? I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. I just want to do a quick little album review. This is one little album that I've been bumping for a little minute, and this is actually one artist that I've actually mentioned a couple of times in a couple other videos that I think is one of the most up and coming rising artists right now. Personally, in my opinion, I think this will be an artist that we'll be talking about here soon, maybe in the next couple of years, giving him a little time to kind of groom himself, get himself together, and figure out his style, his cadence. Because there's still some nuances in some of these songs that I noticed that I could tell this is a young cat. But obviously today we're going over Baby Drill's "MadMan" album. Personally, I really like it. I like it quite a bit. I'm a big fan of Baby Drill just since I kind of been listening to him over the last year or so, and kind of just really just kind of just randomly popped up and just fell on watching them or listening to them. I wasn't really looking for anybody in particular. I think I may have noticed him in with Young Nudie or something like that, and that's kind of how I got hip to him as to who he is and his kind of music. But overall, this album, artist name again, Baby Drill. It's called Madman. This is his album. It's got like 17 songs on here. Yeah, 17 songs. There's a lot of songs on here that I like quite a bit. The ones that I don't like are singing, kind of like singing songs. That I've never really been a fan of any type of singing type songs. Like if it's a rapper, and he's kind of like singing a little bit. I don't like that as much. I like bars. Um, but yeah, overall, I think this is a really good album. I give this album on a scale of 1 to 10. I would rate Baby Drill's album a solid 6. But then the more I think about it and the more I kind of listen to the songs that I like, I would definitely kind of push them closer to the realm of a 7. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do the same thing that I always do. I run through the album. Tell you which ones I like, and then we do a little math equation, and we figure out what kind of grade are we gonna give this album. So first, I'll go over the songs that I actually picked and added to my playlist of the songs that I actually like. So let's start with that. So out of all of these, out of all 17 songs, I like a total of what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like 10 out of the 17 songs. So that's a pretty solid ratio. So we know he's over 50%. Um, so I like Back from the Dead, Slight Dub, Murder Rate, Send Deposits, Load Up, Pop Out, Vibe Check, Stop Running, Drug Sex, Standing Ovation, Bloodbath. I think Standing Ovation and Back from the Dead were two of my kind of top ones. I did like Send Deposits and Murder Rate pretty well. And then I know Slight Dub was that one was pretty decent. The only thing I didn't like about Slight Dub is I feel like 21 Savage and Nudie's verses were kind of lazy, but not too lazy. And I also think they were kind of short. I can kind of get into that. Well, I'll go ahead and hop into it as far as why I think that song it was kind of lazy. Even though this song, the Slight Dub, is kind of like the highlight of that album. Um, I feel like it was a personally kind of a lazy song. It kind of almost gave me the vibe of when artists pay for a feature and they just kind of just give the other person that's paying for the feature just kind of just give them something, but I think they put a little bit more effort in it than just that. So it's kind of like, in my opinion, it kind of seemed like, all right, let's do this song. We really rock with Lil Homie, so we're gonna do this song. But let's just throw a song together real quick, get him a couple a feature from us, and then kind of send him on his way. And it ended up being a little bit more popular than what I think that they may have even thought, to be honest with you. But I don't know, just 21's verse and Nudie's verse was very short, and it kind of seemed a little bit lazy on their behalf of how they rap and their style and their cadence. It just seemed like they didn't put as much effort into it as if they would if it was like a song for their album, or if 21 needed Nudie's help on an album and he needed his song, needed him on a verse or something like that, or vice versa. It kind of just seemed like they just kind of threw Baby Drill a feature while still putting enough effort in it to be like, okay, they put in effort, but it still kind of seemed a little lazy to me. But overall, I really like this album. So again, like I said like 10 out of the 17. Let's go ahead and get a ratio. Do the same thing every time. We got uh, 10 songs. Or excuse me, wait a minute, 17 songs. Divide that. Oops. 10 divided by 17. So basically, this song is like You'd have to move the decimal over, but we'll round it up one. We'll round it up to the next one. This song is basically like at a 60%. You can bump it to 59, 60%. But like I said, I give this whole album like a six, maybe a seven, right? A strong six, solid six. It is 100% a six. And when people hear that, I'm sure they hear, oh, a 6 out of 10. That's not great. I mean, that's okay. Now, I really think that's actually really well because I think most of these songs and these albums that are coming out nowadays of this type of rap style of the drill beats and the Atlanta wave and the Chicago, like all these different artists that are coming out, popping out. I think most of their albums are really rated around like five. For him to step out and kind of be like a six, and I kind of want to push him to a seven. I may have to go back and re-listen to the seven other songs that I didn't add to my playlist and kind of see maybe I might add another one or two in there, or really start liking one of the other ones I've already got in my playlist and be like, yeah, I'll go ahead and bump him to a strong seven. But I mean, the average artist that's putting out music right now, whether they're mainstream or are still slightly underground, because I think he's kind of in the good in between. To be honest with you, I think he's way closer to being underground than he is mainstream. But he's kind of he's teetering the fence. He's like, hey man, you can be an underground legend, or you can be a mainstream legend, like something in the mainstream. It just depends on which side of the fence does he want to teeter and topple to. Personally, the way that he raps and how his style is and what he raps about, I think he needs to stay underground and just be like an underground street legend. To be honest with you, somebody that he kind of gives me the vibe of Nudie. How Nudie is kind of more underground than he is mainstream. Although I think Nudie gets a lot of mainstream type of attention and people notice him like he is on mainstream. But I still don't think Nudi's a mainstream artist because he doesn't have multiple songs on the radio, but he has multiple songs that are hits, multiple albums that are great albums. But I think he's more of an underground legend, kind of like a Fat Man Key or something like that. Like I don't know if anybody is familiar with Key. Like when I was in the SoundCloud wave and had just started out, Key was writing a lot of these different artists' lyrics and was in the studio with them, kind of grooming them and cultivating them. But he never actually got the full attention of what I feel like he should have deserved. So if you guys know of Fat Man Key or know who I'm talking about, Key with the exclamation, that's what I'm talking about. He was actually writing a lot of stuff for a lot of artists back in the day. I think he was writing for like I Love McConan when he blew up and they stopped that or whatever the case is. Um, Either which way, I really like this album. I definitely give it a strong six, almost bumped to a seven. It's a really good, solid album, man. He's got a lot of good songs on here. The reason I can't really bump him to a seven quite just yet off of the songs that I like is basically because I noticed his cadence or his flow, or I've noticed some type of not inconsistencies in it, but I can hear, things where he needs to work on it. His main thing that I noticed that he needs to work on, in my personal opinion, is his delivery, because it kind of said he almost gives me the kind of the vibes of what Gunu was doing. So if you guys aren't familiar, recipes Gunu. Gunu, he would rap, and it seemed like his style. He would rap and have pretty decent bars, but it's like the bars and how he was rapping didn't match the beat that was playing. And it's just kind of like he was rapping kind of fast and punching in, and made some bars, made a song, and then somebody put in the beat afterwards. That's why I never was a Gunu fan like that, to be honest. But but Baby Joe kind of almost sounds like it's like, okay, I know you're rapping, and then on some parts of this beat, you're really catching the flow and vibing with it. But then sometimes you'll say something or a couple of bars where it's like, all right, I think you kind of wanted to force that bar because the bar made sense from what you previously said, but how the song is playing out, how the beat sounds, and it doesn't quite fit or go well. I don't know if that makes sense. You guys go back and listen to the album, and you might pick up on what I'm talking about. There's some parts and some deliveries and some punchlines where it didn't, like, you could tell it's like, okay, he's flowing, he's flowing, he's flowing, and that spot he kind of just made it work, and then he started back flowing and flowing and flowing. On that slight dub song, there's a part where 21 does that, and I think he raps and says something, and then the last and final bar, I want to say, is literally like the last bar of his verse. The last and final bar is like he finishes off with a word that should have rhymed with a previous word in his previous bar, but he ended up finishing it with something that from what he was rapping would make sense, but the flow of how he was rapping, it didn't quite work out for me as well. I can't remember the bar, but I don't want to play any of the music because I don't want any copyrights or anything like that. But I want to say it was like literally like his last couple bars I can't remember exactly what he says. But I noticed that in some of these songs, it'll be like he'll be on beat, he'll be flowing, and he might slightly change his flow or his style and kind of get off a beat a little bit, but then he can bring himself back in. That's one thing. Those are the little odds and ends that I think he needs to kind of work on. It's mainly his delivery, um, and kind of his enunciation. You can tell like he sounds like he's got a mouthful of braces. I know he's a young cat, but I don't know. Let's actually look this up. Let's see how old is baby? Oops, Drill. He might not even have it. Oh, he's 23. So I'm actually surprised that he's 23. I thought he was much younger than that. Honestly, I thought he was more of like a 18, 19 max. But he's 23. He gives off a much younger vibe. But when he raps, it almost sounds like, is this an old 17 baby? As a man who continues with a to verse suspect. Oh, that's somebody else. But what I noticed is just like it almost sounds like he's rapping with like a mouthful of like if he was rapping with a mouthful of gold, kind of like how Gucci Mane used to rap back in the day when he was really heavy on the lean and whatnot, and he was making the song like in my kitchen. Uh, Pounds in the trash bag. Gucci do the dishes. Don't nobody mess with my kitchen. Those days. That's kind of what he kind of reminds me of as far as his rap style of how that like that type of nasally rap. He kind of sounds like a Biggie or like I say a old Gucci or something. Just kind of a nasally rapper, just like rapping through his nose. Like you can hear all of this when he's rapping, and that kind of makes it hard to understand some of the things that he's saying and his enunciations. That was one thing. The rapping through his nose and it sounds like braces, and then like I said, his delivery and kind of his punchline, his flow a little bit. But if he tightens those things up and cultivates how he sounds and really fines tunes that, grooms that, works with the artist that he's currently working with, and continues to grow as an artist, I truly think Baby Drill will be like a underground street legend that we look forward to his music being dropped and put out there. I'm a big fan. He's got me sold. I hope to see a lot more from the young cat, man. To be honest with you, I definitely enjoy his music. And he just kind of popped up out of nowhere, man. I never hadn't really heard of him over the last like year or two or whatever. So maybe I'm late to the game. I don't know, but I haven't heard of him until the last year or two. But yeah, I like this album. Again, it's Baby Drill Madman. Definitely give it 6 stars out of 10 for sure. That's probably what I would give it. Almost a 7. If those two things that I mentioned were tightened up on this, I probably would go ahead and bump it to a 7 because there's a few songs where it's like he's flowing and it's like and it sounds really good, but then you realize, I like the flow, I like the style, I like the beat. His beat selection is really good for his style, but then you realize I don't know exactly what he just said those last previous bars. Now these next couple of bars, I could understand every single word, but right here I couldn't understand this exactly what you said to set up what you said here because I understood all of that. That's just one thing. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of mixing might help with that to kind of bring out his actual voice. But I noticed with the heavy bass 808s and the heavy bass style beats that he picks, sometimes his enunciation and how he raps gets muffled and kind of clouded by the beat itself. Overall, like I say, I give him a good strong 6 out of 10. And just if he tightens up those couple of things, get a lot more experience under his belt, work with some other artists, work with some other producers, and continue to put out work, I think this will be a young cat that we will definitely be hearing from and hearing of for quite some time. I think the only biggest thing that he might have to worry about is just, man, he does like I've mentioned this before in a previous video. He does it's if he's doing the stuff that he's rapping about or has done the stuff he's rapping about, man, that kid is really dry. Like he is ain't no dry snitching. He is full blown wet snitching on himself. Like he tells a lot of stuff that he has done or will do, walking down on people, like setting some folks up. And I know it's all artistry and just part of the image and everything like that. But let's say hypothetically, what he's saying in these raps are is true and is real. He, it's just one of those things that Like he's very detailed and very vivid in what he's discussing and or what he's rapping about in these songs. So if it is all legitimate, let's just say that it's not because we don't know. If it is all legitimate, that would be the only thing that I think he needs to worry about is like you really self-incriminating yourself. But I think a lot of these artists do that, and so it makes me wonder: are they 100% legit with what they're talking about, or is it really they're just self-incriminating and it is what it is? But yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today. I don't want to take too much more of your time. And you guys enjoy your Sunday. Go ahead and bump this album. Go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. I'm actually gonna do another album review here soon. Probably end up doing the Gunna album and going over that next week or something of that nature. And you guys drop your opinions on what you guys think about his album. Do you like Baby Drill? Do you dislike Baby Drill? What's your favorite song off the album? What's your favorite Baby Drill song? Who do you want to see Baby Drill work with next? Just give me some information in the comment section like you guys always do. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you for liking and commenting on the video. If you like it, dislike it, dislike it. Either which way, just work with the video and interact with it so that the algorithm continues to work in my favor. That's all I got for you guys. If you want to find me on all my social media, it's Milan Make Beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. And shoot, man, that's really all I got for you guys today. So enjoy the rest of your weekend and peace.